Ordinance number 2014-85, an ordinance authorizing the City of Maple Heights to accept the titles to 19 vacant parcels of land obtained through the Cuyahoga County Land Reutilization Corporation in the City of Maple Heights and declaring an emergency.
May I have a motion to suspend the rules and place this ordinance on its third and final reading?
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Madam Chair.
Go ahead, Councilwoman Jones.
Madam Chair, thank you for putting this on the third reading. These homes were demolished by the Cuyahoga County Land Bank, and some of them were demolished as early as 2011 and 2012. In order for us to have those homes demolished, City of Maple Heights had to enter into contract with the Cuyahoga County Land Bank in accepting the vacant lots. So now we have unproducing land, but we have nice green space that I have a list of all the properties here if anybody wants to see where they are, if they might want to acquire some of those as a side yard. But more importantly than that, we do need to accept these as per our contract through the land bank. And to sweeten the deal, we've asked the Cuyahoga County Land Bank, prior to them initiating the $50 million demolition fund, if we could provide them some additional properties for demolition. They have agreed to that. So the urgency in this matter is to approve these lots into our land bank so that we can move forward to get some additional properties demolished. Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Chair.
Go ahead, Mr. Brownlee.
I have a question. Councilwoman Jones just mentioned that if these are accepted, we will receive, be able to have more homes demolished. Is that true or is that speculation?
I have a confirmed email from Gus Frangos, who's the president of the Cuyahoga County Land Bank. Mr. Brownlee?
Stating,
Exactly that.
Stating for us to give him a list of our properties.
you mentioned that there would be properties demolished if we approve this now as opposed to in 2 weeks at our next meeting. Is that true?
We are waiting for the acceptance of these properties in order for us to move forward on additional homes to be demolished. Everybody that is in this room knows that there is some house on their street that they would love to have come down. There is a list of at least 16 properties that are dirt ready to come down, and this will be provided through the hardest hit funds and not through the county demolition money.
The question is it necessary to pass this on emergency in order to get the promised homes demolished?
Mr. Brownlee, you could choose the way you'd like to vote, but yes, this is an emergency.
Thank you for not answering.
Will you call the roll, please? Let's call the roll for this.
For suspension?
For suspension.
Adams?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Sephardi?
Yes.
Jackson?
Yes.
Brownlee?
No.
Tujansky?
Yes.
Agee?
Yes. May I have a motion for adoption?
So moved.
Second.
Is there any further discussion?
Yes, ma'am.
Councilman Adams?
I'd like to thank Councilwoman Tony Jones. She's been working on this for quite a while. She's my go-to lady. She asked every one of us on council for a list of houses, vacant, and the ones that we thought that was to be demolished. And I think you asked that at least 3 times, Councilwoman Jones. I submitted that list because in District 1, I have 4 really bad houses that has to come down. The county took a $50 million bond issue and said that cities will be getting some money. We have to go after it. That's why this is emergency. We have to get ahead of this. Every one of you on your street's got a house. And I thank you, Councilwoman Jones, for all that work that you did, and we're possibly a little bit from getting those houses down. So it is a move. Thank you, Tony. Thank you.
We also only got 3 houses last time. We presented a list, but only had 3 houses. So this is a real good,
The additional properties in that list.
yes. So this list is like being shovel ready, which was originally the whole idea, to be ready to go. They just voted this in last week and allocated the money, and we need to get this done. So you want to say emergency? Let's use the term expedient, or there's another word, but let's move on it. Thank you.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
make a statement, please. I want to go back a step on this. Even if we don't get another house torn down, if it was in our contract that if they tore their houses down, that we would accept them into our land bank, that should be enough right there to pass this. I don't get why we're trying to add all this other parts on it to throw mud in the game.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Jackson. Call the roll for adoption, please.
Adams,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Safrani,
Yes.
Jackson,
Yes.
Brownlee,
Yes.
Tujansky,
Yes.
A.G.
Yes. Thank you.
Passed by the vote of 7-0.
Would you turn your expenditures over $1,000? That would be 2014-99 through 102. May I have a motion to approve, please?
So moved.
A second?
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Madam Chair, a question.
Adams,
Yes.
Madam Chair, I have a question.
Mr. Brownlee, you did not hear, obviously, a call for the roll call.
So you're
You need
skipping
to get
discussion
your-
on this motion, Madam Chair.
Exactly. You need to get your question in before we call the roll.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would like to appeal the decision of the chair to simply forego discussion and call for the vote because I do have a question to ask.
Is there a second to that?
I'll second. Let him ask his question.
Your question, please?
Thank you, Madam Chair.
there's been no roll call.
Oh, very good.
Call the roll, please.
This is to appeal the decision. Adams,
No.
Jones,
No.
Safrani,
No.
Jackson,
Yes.
Brownlee,
Yes.
Tujansky,
No.
A.G.
No.
Motion failed.
Call the roll, please.
Okay, the roll for the expenditures over $1,000. Adams,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Safrani,
Present.
Jackson,
Yes.
Brownlee,
Present.
Tujansky,
Yes.
A.G.
Yes.
Motion please.
Thank you. Mayor's report, please.
Thank you, Madam President. You know, I wasn't going to give a report tonight because didn't really know what to say. But after hearing all this back and forth and all these comments that are very irresponsible and very much untrue, I don't believe there was ever a time when we cut grass for senior citizens. We've never done that. So when someone says, used to do this, we never did. And that's how you get misled. Because you walk out of here thinking, they used to do all these things, now they don't do them anymore. Well, that's just simply not true. We can't speak to what others did away with that are no longer here. There have been other people sitting in all of these chairs up here, how they voted, what decisions they made to take away programs or services. Those days are gone. Those people are gone. You go to City Hall and look at their pictures on the wall in the council chambers if you want to. That's about all you're going to see of them. We do what we have with what we get. It's very simple. You know, anyone who wants to know where the money is going, first you have to have money coming in. And we do have some money coming in, yes, we do. There are some responsible people in the city who do work, who do hold jobs, and they pay their taxes, like Mr. Arnold, who says he writes that check twice a year and he pays his quarterlies. There's not a lot of other people that have come here to this meeting that have ever said that. You want to know why? Because they probably don't do that. There's probably people here tonight who are sitting out here who don't do that. Why don't they? I mean, we know what's going on here. We all do. We don't have to sugarcoat this. This isn't the end of the world. It's really funny, isn't it? It really is funny. It's not the end of the world. It was the end of the campaign. Somebody won and somebody lost. You know? That's politics. There's an ancient Chinese proverb that goes something like, victory has 1,000 fathers and defeat is an orphan. There's a lot of orphans here tonight. They may think they're winners, they won, but what did they really win? Because you can replace everybody up here next year. And these problems are still going to be here. The revenue isn't going to come in. That's 3 times the residents have voted, actually 4 times with the senior levy, have voted it down. They don't want taxes. They don't want fees. They don't want charges or hidden things, you know? But some of them don't make sense. The income tax increase, which was voted down in May, affected or would have affected 90% of the people who don't live here. But the residents voted it down. It didn't affect them. Even if they worked, which some of them don't, but they laugh a lot. They disrupt a lot and they laugh. They're not working. They're not paying taxes. And the cameras, really? I mean, 94% of the people who were ticketed don't live in Maple Heights. What's the problem? You know, we are not that wealthy that we can just blow this kind of opportunity off. We don't have other avenues of revenue. We've tried. God knows we've tried. I've tried. You know, Washington, nothing. Nothing from our senators or our congressperson. Nothing. Our state rep, our state senator, our governor, nothing. A big donut hole. We got nothing. We know how much we've lost. Millions in revenue. How do you replace that? You have to be creative. You go to the ballot. You go to the people. They don't want it. Well, then what do you want? Do you want us to work with what we have? We could do that, but there's a lot of things that are going to be gone and they're probably never going to come back. That is the real tragedy here. It's not the campaign, somebody wins, somebody loses, it's a zero-sum game because everybody loses in this deal. Everybody does. Property values are not going to go back up. They've been inching up, crawling up. They're not going to go back up to what they used to be. The voters made sure of that. You know, the houses that are vacant, you know, you're sitting up here, or you're listening to this debate back and forth. Why wouldn't we want the county land bank to come in here and tear down some houses? Why are we trying to hold this up for 2 weeks or a month? What sense does that make? If they're ready to come in, and this doesn't even consider the $50 million in bond money that they haven't even given out $1 yet. This is something on the side. This is something else. Why would we want to slow that down or even stop it altogether? Because it's not an emergency? Are you kidding me? You know, in a year there's an election here. And you're going to hear all kinds of comments and rumors and innuendo and, half-truths and things. You're going to hear a lot of this. You can choose wisely, you can choose badly. The majority lately has been choosing very badly, very poorly. We're going to do and continue to do the best we can with what we have. There were people yesterday that I was told that said, they're not even picking up leaves. Of course we are. We've been out there for 3 weeks already, 4 weeks picking up leaves. But there's people who here, they're not even picking up leaves. Really? Who started that? These cameras are unconstitutional. Why are they unconstitutional? Why do you say that? I asked someone. Oh, I saw it on TV. Oh, well, that makes it so. You saw it on TV. Yeah, it's got to be true. Yep. That's what we've been reduced to. I've said this before at a council meeting. I don't know what it is with these cameras that just gets in everybody's, zone right here, and they just see red. They just, oh, this is wrong, this is awful, these things are bad, they're no good. They actually do a lot of good. Whether you want to admit it or not, I guess everybody who was against them, you're all above the law, so you're better than everybody else then, because it's okay for you to speed, but if you get caught, oh, that's wrong. That's wrong. They're wrong, because even though I broke the law, I should get a free pass. You know what? I used to tell people, slow down, don't speed. Now I don't have to tell them anything anymore, because the cameras are gone. They're gone. They were shut off. They'll be gone. And we will see all the speeds. You'll see. You'll be driving down Broadway. Even today I noticed the speeds are picking up on Warrensville Center. Yep, they're gone. We can speed again. So, I don't think, and I'm not going to use, everybody's entitled to their opinions and their verbiage and what they think, but, really, what was really accomplished? What was accomplished? Other than we're going backward, we're going the wrong way, we're digging that hole deeper. Keep digging, we're digging that hole deeper because we have no revenue coming in. We're going to try to do some things. There's a cell tower deal here that might generate $150,000, possibly, maybe. That's a little bit. That isn't going to take us very far. But what was really accomplished? And businesses, I got to say this, again, businesses look at the average median income when they come to a city. They look at, and that's all public record. Go find it, it's out there everywhere. Just Google it. What's the average median income in Maple Heights? And it's around, and I'm using a conservative estimate of about $35,000. So that's why you see, Garfield Heights, they're kind of comparable to us. They get a Dunkin' Donuts. Maple Heights gets a McDonald's. Beechwood gets Eaton Corporation. Why? Because that's where all the people live that have real high average median incomes. We don't have that. So we're not going to get big business here. We're not going to get factories and warehouses or corporations. They're not going to come here. We're going to get McDonald's, we're going to get a nail salon, a daycare, beauty supply. That's what we're going to get. We're going to get a little kind of a convenience store, like the one on Broadway, 611, which is a knockoff of 7-Eleven. That's what we're going to get. We get stuff like that because they target the people who make the $35K. So it is what it is at the end of the day. And as far as I'm concerned, everybody lost yesterday. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Councilman Adams, District 1.
Thank you, Mayor. Well said. My report for District 1, stop 1 Lee Road, lights was out. I called CEI, spoke to Representative Terry Gillen. He was taken care of in a couple of days. So I'd like to thank Terry for his quick response and for checking on this situation with the owner of Stop 1. All the calls that I've been getting from District 1 in the last week was on the election. I thought we had it made. How wrong I was. I'd like to congratulate Police Chief John. Swearing me in was a nice ceremony. Your family, beautiful. And you, we're so lucky to have you. So thank you for stepping up. Those of you that have the political signs, signs in your yard, they have to come down, pick them up, put them in a garage, put them in a garbage. If not, give me a call and I'll be by to pick them up. I was out today getting as many as I could that I seen in the yards. And I'd like to thank all the residents. And there's quite a few here from District 1. And quite a few I see that supported the cameras and the other issues. George Grissom, what a nice speech you had. I call it speech, not comments. He was 100% on. And no matter when somebody needs something, a senior or someone asks me, needs a truck, needs some senior work or something, I call George. Oh, I'm kind of busy, but I'll squeeze it in. He does. He does. Not a penny to him. Those are the good residents. Thank you, George, for all that you do for this community. And all of you that came out and supported, all the phone calls and emails I got today and comments on Facebook supporting our effort. I won't say nothing about the negative, and there was only 4, so I could smile because there was a lot more positive. So I don't know how we failed. The senior center breaks my heart that we lost, say, 50 votes. And still, almost 3,000 people said no. Because those no votes, young people, they never thought about their mother, father, grandmother. This is a service that's always been happening here. Our food pantry. And to go back, the mayor, if we got residents that realize that really needs that food pantry. Can't understand it. But the count was low. They had a good campaign, the opposition to these. You have to give it to them. But like the mayor said, what did they gain? Hooray, they won. You know what they won? Nothing. And what you want? The city comes down. Ruin the city. I heard comments out there that just blew my mind. People had their opinion. And they got them a penny from some people. One of them was Mr. Brownlee, excuse me, Bill. Today, Bill posted on his site, which really made me mad. And I'm gonna share that with you. I'm gonna share it with him. My advisor told me don't do it. This comment is gonna bother me for a couple days, Bill. Your crying towel on your website. Lord have mercy. Forgive me, Lord.
No.
I'm just gonna the mayor and the rest of the council will boo having all night. I tried to tell them, to the corrupt mayor and his corners in City Hall, this is for you. And he had a picture there, the crying time.
Wow.
Yes, I wanted to cry when I seen the results this morning. I didn't cry. I ain't cried since I lost my son. But this is worth crying about, because it's going to be devastating to this city. Oh, it's okay now. You can say what you want now. We won. Yeah, you won nothing. And like the mayor said, he put it very good. And we have been putting it good. We haven't lied about anything. And Bill, if you know anything that was corrupt in City Hall, then you're a part of it because you didn't report it. There's no one corrupt. We did not steal money, and I did hear that. I sure did. We have finance meeting. We have a finance director been here 10 months, 9 months. We had a lot of work in our financial plan going forward at the fiscal watch. At the same time that all these other things was coming up, they was not secret meetings. It had to happen. It had to happen quick, just like tonight. Things happen quick. You got to get them in and do it. That's what we get paid for. And someone said, I use that to my convenience when I say take it to the residents. I only said that once. And by the way, I only disagreed with the mayor maybe 3 times. If I disagree, I disagree, but only about 3 times. So I'm one of your corners.
Thanks.
I'm just devastated myself. I'm personally. And that's why I got to talk so I'm glad I got this time to say it in front of my residents and you. There's a lot of us out there that feels this way today. When you think about this city, and I think about this city, I would serve on this council for nothing. And maybe a month from now, I might call on some of these, our council, to do it for nothing. Because the residents don't want to pay, not even $3 a month. Somebody's going to have to step up and take it. We have no secret meetings on finances. It's all there. It's been said for the last 4 months. Secret meetings. Holy smoke. We don't have no meetings underground, back room, or nothing else. It all happens here or City Hall. It might be short notice, but it's open to the public. You want to find out? Go on the website, go on my Facebook. Go on Tony Jones' Facebook. Go on Bill Buck. No, don't go on his. Go on.
That's a joke.
It's when we have a meeting, sometime it's special meeting today, special meeting tomorrow, another one the next week. It's there. You have to get involved. We cannot get out there to every house. And I said, I wish I could. I wish the other could. You have a responsibility. We had billboards that our rec department sets up, meeting, firehouse, over on Dunbar. Start to notice that thing. Start to look for them. Because it's there, it's for your benefit. I don't know what else to say. That's it. End of report. No. Once I get started.
And you didn't talk all day.
And I hope a lot of residents come and join us for Veterans Day at the memorial. There's a lot of us vets and very few participation. Very few participation. But still, lastly, find out when our meetings here come, please.
Thank you, Elvis. You done that?
I'm done, yes.
Thank you. Councilwoman Tony Jones, District 2.
Good evening, everybody. I'm jiggling this paper just so I remind myself that this is a list of the vacant lots. If anybody wants to take a look at that, I'll leave it right up there for you. The only thing I have to say is, George, whatever you came up to say, how profound is it when somebody just actually speaks from the heart? I'm hoping, and I'm not gonna whine and cry and no, we didn't pass this. You know what? The mayor said it the best way. If you listen, and this is the first time I actually heard this, so maybe I'm just like everybody else. But the reason why we try to pass the levies is so that we can keep things the way they are now. We have the police force, we have the senior center, we are cutting some things to accommodate the money that's coming in. But if you want us to live within our means, and I've actually seen this in print on somebody's Facebook page, we could go ahead and do that. And there's going to be a lot of things that you're expecting, and your quality of life is going to go down. It is just not going to be there. And unfortunately, because the money's not there, we could pass the budget, and we could make a budget. We could turn half the lights off in here. We don't need to pick up your leaves. We don't even have to put every single street light on. It could be every other one like Richmond Heights has. Do you want us to live within our means? I have no idea how we're going to do that or what we're going to do, but there will be cuts. And it's not threats. It's just the way it is. But one thing that I do wish, and I really didn't mean to make that sound like a threat at all. There was so much energy that happened in these campaigns for each one of the different levies on a different level. I wish that we could take that energy and put it together to work together. How many people love their city? So the people that don't have their hands up don't love their city. Come on, y'all. In that corner, I know you love your city. You guys were so passionate yesterday. And in other things that you have done, can we take that energy and can we put it towards something useful and something that we could all do just to make this city, this entire city, better? Because we need to do that, ladies. And you have some good ideas. And we all have opinions. But I think after everything just failed yesterday, I think we have a clean slate. Or let's try to make it a clean slate. And we need to come together. And I'm kind of tired of saying it because I don't know if it's going to happen. And maybe it's just wishful thinking. But it's a thought. And wouldn't it be nice There's no reason why we can't have a community forum, a community meeting. And yeah, you know what, we have different opinions. We're gonna yell at each other like, no, that's not gonna work, or why don't you do this? But we're communicating. And it's better than backstabbing. And it's better than people just making up things that they hear and just repeating things that may or may not be true because they're not going to any of the sources. And you know what? Us sitting up here, we're not magicians. We're doing the best that we can. You put us here. You can replace us. And those people that will be sitting here, if you do replace us, just like the mayor said, wow, is that going to be a rude awakening? Because when I sat out there where you're sitting, Patrice, and then I sat here, wow, is it a big difference. It is totally overwhelming, the information that you need to know. And we'd be more than willing to share it with any resident that wants to look at any of the numbers that we have that may be so overwhelming. We could show you those numbers. And it just really hurts my heart when we have seniors that try to get together to work against our senior center, when they themselves need to have those same services that may not be there when they need it. And that's all I can say.
Thank you, Tony. Councilman Sefrani, District 3.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I want to start by saluting our veterans and thanking them for their service and their sacrifices through the years. There's really don't have any words for it except for that, and it's straight from the heart. And hopefully you will thank a veteran when you see them. I also wanted to congratulate John for officially becoming chief. So congratulations. Took a nice picture in the paper too. I'm sure you're going to hear a lot of other things going on about last night. A lot of opinions. I'm just kind of glad that it's over because now we know where we stand and we have to keep going. 2015, point blank, is going to be a year of change. It's going to be a year of a lot of cuts that you're not going to like. But with the end of the campaign season, there is always new hope. And that's what drives the city, that's what drives people and residents. So I'm looking forward to hearing from this day till April 2015, when the budget is finally approved, all the great ideas that residents are going to come up with to help balance the budget. Residents and council people, because to this point, I have not heard anything. And I also want you to remember, 1.8. No, I'm just saying. I understand that. 1.8 is just the start, ladies and gentlemen, because that's the official deficit. So the realization is here. This election was the crossroads for Maple Heights. We're going to make the changes that we're going to have to make because the residents had their constitutional right to vote any way that they wanted, and they voted against everything. So we will make the tough choices that we are paid to do. We're not going to like them. We're not going to be fan favorites. But ladies and gentlemen, this year it has to be done. There is no choice. The state will be here. And they will offer their opinions, their choices. We might as well get everybody else's, because it is, like I said, black and white. It's right there. Everybody had their choice, and they chose. So we will continue to do the hard work that we were appointed to do, elected to do, and we will choose the best path that we can for Maple Heights. Thank you.
Thank you, Anthony.